Hi everyone, it's Amy, and it is finally time to finish up our Tilda doll. And here's one example here. And before we do that, I'll just show you quickly, I finally made a fabric Tilda doll. And she looks like this. She is kind of a granny Tilda doll. And I used needle felting to do her hair. And I crocheted this little sweater. I didn't use a pattern, I just sat her on my lap and started increasing and decreasing, and I don't have a pattern for it. I didn't write down what I did, but anyway, so I made her a little sweater, and she has a simple little dress, and that is what she looks like. So finally my first fabric Tilda, and I do apologize for the delay in this video, but the kids are off school now and things have been a little crazy. So I haven't been able to crochet up a full Tilda doll to do this final demonstration for you, so I just have these little parts here to sort of illustrate what we're going to do. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So the first thing that I do is take the extra piece of yarn from the bottom of the body, pretend this is this area here. And I just do a stitch back and forth like that to sew it up. And then I take her legs, both of them, and I kind of press them together and I sew them on this way with the towel of yarn here. So I'll just kind of show you what that looks like. But you can really attach the arms and legs however you'd like. So we're going to pretend this is a leg in this case, and I'm going to put the needle through this other side here, and then I'm going to put it on the edge, the last stitch at the edge on the bottom here, and start attaching it that way. Now I'll go through the body, these two stitches here, like this. And then I'll go through the next two stitches on the leg. So I think that would be called, I'm not really sure what this kind of stitch is called, but basically you're going to be sewing it on that way, or however you feel comfortable doing it. So again, I will go through the next two stitches on the body. And then I will go through the next two stitches on the leg. And you can see the leg is being attached that way. For the arms, it's very similar. Let me just undo this so I can show you. And then you'll just, to fasten it off, I just try to kind of stitch into a stitch to knot it, and then I poke my needle up and then I pull it out somewhere such as that, and then I would cut the tail. So I don't really have any expertise on how to do this. I'm just showing you how I do it. So really anything you do is totally fine. Now we're going to pretend it's an arm, and we're going to attach it like that. And it's the same thing. It's sort of a I guess not a, how would you call this? Not a running stitch, but you're just, maybe not a blanket stitch either. I'm just going to put the needle in where I want the top of the arm to be, and I'm going to put it like that. Okay, so I want it like that, and now I'm going to go through the bottom stitch on the arm, and then through the next stitch on the body. And I just sort of poke the needle through the little holes in the stitches. And you'll just do that all the way around. Okay, so it's getting attached like that. So then you would go into this one here. You want to kind of keep the stitches so that they're inside where the arm is attached, if that makes sense, so that the arm covers the stitches. basically you just want to get it on there. Do you see how that's going? So that is that with attaching the arms and legs. I hope that makes sense. Just try to get them on as well as you can. Like I said, I really don't have any magic to share with you on that. For most of the hair, there's a few different ways to do hair. I'll just leave that attached. The easiest way that I have found is to take your hair color and your crochet hook that you've been using this whole time. And I am going to decide where I want her part. So if I want a side part, I would do this kind of on the side. And if I want a center part, I would do it down the center. Okay, so, and this you could actually take your needle and, let's do that first. This tail you have at the top of her head, thread it onto your large needle, and just stick it down through the center of her head and pull it out somewhere, and that will kind of secure it in place. I can get that pulled. See how I did that? And then now I'm just going to pull it tight and cut it. And that's how I hide my tail. So now we will go ahead and put the part in her hair. So I'm going to do a center part. So I'm going to put my hook in like this. Oop. It can be a little tricky to start. I'm going to pull up a loop and I'm going to do a single crochet. And then I'm going to go to the next one, single crochet. You could also do slip stitch, but to show you, it's just easier to do a single crochet. And I'm going to do this all the way down. And you can see how it kind of looks like she has a mohawk. And I'm just going in between the holes like that. Trying not to pull up any stuffing. Okay, I'll do one more. And to fasten that off, I am going to cut the yarn, pull the tail through the loop, leave it like that for now. Okay, so as you can see, she sort of has this kind of wonky part on this one, but that's totally fine. So what you're going to do is start taking your hair, decide how long you want it, maybe take a couple strands at a time, and what I like to do is thread it through my needle. There's a couple different ways you can do this, and honestly, I just find this to be the easiest and I like the way it looks. I did a different technique with this one, and I don't like it as much because you can see little knots. But I just take it and I put it through the little stitch here, pull it through, and then I just keep adding hair that way. So I might add several strands in each stitch. So again, you do need a large-eyed needle for this. And just stick it through like that. And then once you get all the hair attached, you can trim it up and style it however you want. But that is how I attach the hair. And I actually just use real facial blush, powdered blush, to do the cheeks, and a little paintbrush. And that's it. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm sorry that this video is late and slightly rushed, but as I said, things have been a little crazy lately. But I hope you guys are all doing great. I hope you've enjoyed making your Tilda doll, and I will see you soon. Bye!